Three, two, one.
All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Bram Wigsel. I am the Senior Director of Marketing here at IBEX, and we're thrilled to have you all here with us today. We have a great session ahead with some great guests. If it's your first time joining us and you're unfamiliar with IBEX, we are a multi-award winning contact center outsourcer developing human-centered, AI-enhanced customer experience solutions for the world's top brands. We operate across more than 30 contact centers onshore, nearshore, and offshore, all powered by over 30,000 of the world's best and brightest customer experience talent. All right, with that said, let's dive in. So our topic today is how to use Gen AI to improve CX performance in 2024. Now, if you jump back to November of 2022 with the launch of ChatGPT, most of us had never heard the term Gen AI. And now you can't really talk about near-term or long-term brand strategy without it being a key piece of your brand roadmap. We know many leaders in the industry are diving right in with Gen AI, while some are taking a more cautious approach. So to help us unpack all of this and provide some valuable guidance on moving forward, we have two industry veterans and technology experts here with us today. So our first guest is IBEX's resident contact center technology expert. He's developed and launched highly successful CX solutions to support the world's most demanding and high-profile brands. He's responsible for IBEX's award-winning WaveX contact center performance platform, and I must say he has the best mustache in the game. Welcome, Jim Ferrato, IBEX's CIO. Welcome,
Hello,
Jim.
everybody. Welcome to the webinar. Looking forward to touching base across a large number of topics that I think are very pertinent as you roll out and consider CX technology.
That's right. Great to have you with us, Jim. Our next guest is IBEX's AI and digital transformation guru. He's actually spent the last number of months on a whirlwind tour, meeting with CX leaders from across industries, from across the world, to discuss their AI and technology needs. And he's the driving force behind IBEX's AI roadmap. Welcome, Eric Guaro, IBEX's SVP of Digital Transformation.
Hey, nice to be here, Bram, Jim. Always a pleasure to have a session like this with the two of you, and look forward to sharing more with our viewers as this has certainly taken the world by a little bit of surprise, and maybe not for some others, but I think everybody's very interested in hearing more about the topic.
That's right. That's right. Taking the world by storm, and it feels like the storm is only just getting started. So. Let's dive in, guys. So, Eric, I'll start with you. You know, in the intro, I mentioned that you've been on this whirlwind tour, meeting with many of IBEX's clients, prospective clients, CX leaders from across the industry to help kind of strategically advise and guide their digital transformation and AI strategies. Now, can you, from your perspective for our audience, just give your view on where things stand right now when it comes to AI in CX? And also, can you give some insight as to what CX leaders have been asking you about and asking for?
Yeah, so first, I would be remiss if I didn't say it's been an absolute blast meeting with these leaders, leaning into their business, really understanding strategically what their goals and objectives are, and where we might be able to help from a digital transformation perspective. As you can imagine, the real key topics here are, they're interested in how do they leverage cutting edge technologies such as generative AI in a few core areas. And those core areas that just continuously come up in these client sessions are improving operational efficiencies, as you can imagine, improving the customer experience, which we believe is at the core of everything we do, reducing their cost to serve, and probably most importantly, and really has been on the back burner for a lot of companies, is the new revenue streams that generative AI is able to unlock. So conversations have been spectacular. Specifically, they're really looking to seek insights on how to seamlessly integrate AI and other automation technologies into their existing processes, and driving a better productivity, cost savings, and really advance their business and how they take care of their customers and interact with them.
Got it. And Jim, I'll bring you into the conversation now as well. You might have some insight into this, onto what I just asked Eric. I'm sure you've been meeting with leaders as well. And also from your lens, what kind of challenges are you seeing around the current issues that CX leaders are facing in the industry, are facing with AI, and how are they overcome or looking to overcome these?
Yeah, there are a number of challenges as you think about implementing AI as part of the customer experience. Probably one of the biggest is, since AI relies on data, and so probably one of the biggest challenges is data quality, data privacy, particularly in the context of data privacy laws like GDPR in the EU requires customer consent to process data. So how does that factor into your data model that you're using to power your AI is very, very critical. And then obviously just basic data privacy concerns about, where is this data stored as you're training your models? Is any of it going to leak out into the public domain? How do you structure your Gen AI to stay within, the boundaries of the data that you're providing? So data quality, obviously, from the perspective of as you're tying into these back-end systems, particularly CRM systems, order systems, what is the quality of that data? So data quality is paramount. Then you have kind of the integration complexities. AI in itself is just a pretty front end. It's really, what systems are you integrating to create that personalization and intent is critical. And some of our clients are finding, that's easier said than done because from a customer service perspective, there may be 3 or 4 or more systems on the back end that agents are accessing to service their clients, their customers, that is not very easily integrated. And then probably one of the last big hurdles is, gaining customer trust and acceptance. As they're working with these bots, are the bots properly branded? Do they have the right persona? Are they accurate? Are they easy to use? And if, you can very, very quickly turn off a customer base by rolling out bad bots. So clearly the QA process around bot development is critical. So those are probably the top 3 I would consider.
Got it. Yeah, I've seen a lot of conversation lately around AI governance models and how to keep things, on the guardrails, especially when it comes to, you have healthcare clients, fintech clients that have very sensitive customer data. Do you have any kind of like high level best practices around governance and setting up these guardrails?
Yeah, so clearly when you're talking about bots, anything beyond just where's my package, and even that has some privacy concerns, is all about how are you managing the authentication process, and that has to be done very thoughtfully within the parameters of the data that's being accessed. You have increasing levels of complexity around authentication based on the type of data you're accessing. I think the training model is extremely important as you're pulling in various sources. How are you ingesting that and doing the embedding so that the AI model can be successful? And then how do you manage the Gen AI with the guardrails so that you don't get unexpected results? So those are probably the top 3.
Eric, any thoughts there from yourself?
Yeah, I think we're going to get into it a little further in the session, but look, Jim hit it spot on. It's really about seamless integration. Companies are focused on their business and growing their business, and they really want and need technology partners like us that can come in and ensure that some of those back end things are met. Seamless integration, rigorous testing, and security standards are met, like Jim alluded to, as well as the continuous learning component. There's a lot of companies that are out there pitching AI technologies, but they really don't talk enough about the continuous learning because that enables the solution to just get better over time and serve more customer intents more effectively and more efficiently. So we definitely like to put a lot of focus and emphasis on those three core areas.
Got it. Perfect. Okay. Pivoting a bit, I wanted to get thoughts from both of you on a recent kind of big news item in the industry. Many of you on the audience may have seen Klarna, a fintech firm in the e-commerce space, recently announced some resounding success with their Gen AI chatbot. It was doing the work of 700 agents, big gains in CSAT, reduction in handle time, boost in revenue. Big news, made a big splash. I wanted to get thoughts from both of you on this.
Yeah, I'll jump on that first, and I think it ties in nicely to the conversation we were just having. So, one, it's great to see the success. We believe you can be very successful in this space. What I would say is, it didn't happen overnight for Klarna, and it generally doesn't happen overnight for any company. It involves a lot of testing, those seamless integrations we're talking about to ensure that it gets all the appropriate inputs to service those customer needs and you realize those benefits. And then again, just like I concluded the last conversation, you're not taking 700 agents out of the business overnight or even with the first deployment. It's really about that continuous learning and really getting AI into the hands of your agents, working hand in hand with them through these interactions so it can learn and then ultimately self-sustain and support these intents on their own in many cases.
It really sparked some good conversation about the impact of AI on employment. As you read a little deeper into the announcement, they didn't actually lay off 700 agents. What they did was 700 agents worth of work, which was low value work, repurposing agents for higher value tasks. And also, as Eric pointed out, part of that, the continuous learning process. Now, I will say, what they've done is, very explicitly said, we're not laying people off, but they're no longer hiring people into those positions as people attrit out. So really some interesting conversations about the impact of AI on frontline positions in the BPO space. So it's really the one of the first examples of a tremendous impact on the frontline agents that I've seen so far.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for your insight there. And I think that's a good segue into talking a little bit more about what we're looking at here at IBEX when it comes to AI. At the end of January, we announced our new our new AI enhanced technology solution, calling it Wave iX. It's an AI-driven customer experience and employee experience solution suite. Eric, I'll start with you. Can you give our viewers a quick overview of Wave iX and why it will and should matter to CX leaders?
Absolutely. Thought you'd never ask. Yeah, look, our solution that we named Wave iX it's a cutting edge technology suite that helps brand leaders improve CX performance using the latest in generative AI. And look, generative AI is the buzzword that's out there right now, but we're leveraging several technologies. We've been leveraging Gen AI in our business for a multitude of years, along with other automation technologies that really lead to better customer service, better bottom line financials. And we're excited to take this to customers. We take a consultative, tested approach to all of our solution delivery. And it's really important to note, and we believe it's a key differentiator for us. We don't try to make our clients and or potential clients' problems fit into our product suite. We really take the time to lean into their business, understand what their strategic goals are, and solution around what their needs of the business are, right? Whether it's meeting financial obligations, whether it's improving customer experience, whether it's improving employee experience. So we really take a thoughtful approach to this, in addition to bringing our vast array of knowledge that we have relative to the multitude of verticals that we support today.
Gotcha. And that raises a interesting question around homegrown technologies versus partnership, source technologies. Jim, can you give us some insight into how IBEX is thinking about its strategic technology partnerships?
So first off, strategic partnerships are incredibly important to IBEX as we look to incorporate these solutions into these point technologies into the solutions that Eric mentioned that we're bringing to our clients. Gen AI in the last year or last 18 months has just completely transformed the ecosystem of potential partners out there that are developing very, very cool point solutions, leveraging technology talent that is just not available to IBEX, both technology talent and capital, which has really driven, rapid innovation in the AI space. So as we talk with partners, a couple of key items that we like to be aligned on, one of which is business objectives. Are their objectives aligned with ours in terms of where their roadmaps are going, how they operate, the commercial models, those all have to be in sync for us to bring somebody on board. And then looking for complementary technologies, right? You do have this as CIO, you kind of have this whole candy store of technology partners to go shopping in. But you really have to be very, very specific and deliberate around how do these complement the technologies that we may already have in-house, either things that we've built or other technology partners. Traditionally, we have built a lot of our own tech, and we're going to continue to build niche technology platforms that make sense in order to deliver Wave iX. But a large component of that, the offerings will be around partner technology that are going to integrate it into a solution. And then things like reputation, expertise, all factor into our decisions around, who do we bring on board? Who do we partner with? We do very much focus on it, take a best of breed approach as we integrate the tech into our solutions.
Got it. Eric, any thoughts from you there? Or should we continue on?
I think Jim hit it really, really nail on the head there. We're good.
Cool. So I guess I'll ask you guys, why should, I know Eric, you've been talking about how you've been, talking to leaders, you've been advising on the best approaches. Why should clients come to us instead of, say, a large consulting firm like your McKinsey's or Deloitte's to get, the proper advice and best path forward when it comes to Gen AI?
Yeah, let me highlight a few things that I believe differentiate us, and I think it's important to note that I spent 16 years on the other side of the table with consultants and different firms coming to me often with solutions. And I'll tell you one common thing that seemed to frustrate me as a leader was, it was always a 6 to 9 month assessment that I was paying tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just to figure out what can I do in the business, right? We believe that really that's a differentiator for us because we come in, and we'll have a session with you because we do think it's imperative to understand the strategic objectives to ensure that whatever we're coming back with from a solution perspective is going to meet, everything from your high level objectives and goals all the way down to some of the more tactical items. But what we don't believe in is coming in and taking 6 to 9 months and sending you a bill without ever telling you there's something that we can offer. So we come in with, our in-depth knowledge. Look, we support the business today, from a human perspective in many cases, and in some cases with technology. So we come in with a lot of good foundational information that we overlay right into the business. You kind of intertwine that with the feedback that we're getting from our clients, to avoid a lot of the upfront time that others take to assess the business, if you will. And typically what we're able to do is, from assessment to, you know, MVP, if you will, kind of that minimal viable product deployment, we're talking anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. Instead, you have some consulting firms that will come and tell you, look, we might get something up in 12 months, right? So definitely some key differentiators in there of speed to market, as well as quality. So we're testing these things today. So we're making sure that what we deliver is going to yield the appropriate impact that's anticipated.
Actually, perfect. Thank you for that answer. So let me pivot now to an audience question that has come in. With Wave IX, will your focus be to enhance a client's existing journey or to overhaul it?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic question. And I think we, as well as any other consulting firm, would be foolish to kind of come in and just want to rip everything out. So our approach is first to understand where are they in their digital journey? What is already deployed, in their customer journeys? And then we figure out how do we layer in technology to either enhance, and or if they don't have a solution in that we might recommend, get developed and implemented. So our approach is never to kind of rip everything out and start with Wave IX. We figure out where we can be complementary to what they might already have in, enhance, and then build on top of it.
Got it. Okay. So let's go a little deeper into AI technologies that will enhance the customer journey and the customer experience. So we'll start with you, Eric, and then go to Jim. Can you tell us about some of these self-service and customer journey enhancements that are provided through our Wave IX offering?
Yeah, I would love to. First, I would just highlight, these are AI technologies that boost every interaction along the customer journey. So we're definitely taking a methodical approach to understand the entire customer life cycle. We have 250 plus BI and insights individuals in our organization that live, eat, and breathe this every day. So everything that we develop and or solution is very well informed, data driven decisions that we're making to ensure that our recommendations and or deployments are yielding the appropriate outcomes. With that being said, I would say there's a few core things in that suite that I'd love to highlight. And
Yeah, please do.
one, we ensure that it's tailored to our client's brand persona, right? If you're developing technology that is ultimately gonna, take over an interaction that was supported by a human previously, we want those end customers to feel like they're talking to a human. That is what generative AI gives us the ability to do. It's no more, going back to a Star Wars analogy, you're not talking to R2D2 here, right? This is very much you're gonna feel like you're talking to a human and get the appropriate support. What our solution suite also offers, it's 24 by 7, 365 support. So depending upon the intents we're developing, this doesn't give you any staffing limitations anymore. You're giving your customers the support they need in the channel that they want it, in addition to the time that they want to get served. These people are working every day. They're not always going to call you 9 to 5 when you have folks staffed, right? So gives us the ability to support their needs anytime throughout the day. Virtual agents that are conversational. So think about your voice bots, your chat bots. This is not just your typical flow driven if this then type situation. These are truly conversational technologies that are dipping into virtually the same information a human would to support that customer intent. Channel agnostic. So as I said, this is voice, chat, social, SMS. However you want to serve your clients, we can develop solutions to service them in that channel.
Got it. And I know that there are some key technologies we've been discussing internally that I think are pretty interesting around, translation, automation, authentication. Can you dive a little bit into those?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're really excited. You mentioned translation first. You'll probably hear it in my voice, but we're really excited about this one because, in our traditional business, it's always a challenge to support our customers that require multilingual support. You either have to go to a specific geo and find those people who are typically servicing small queues, right? The volumes are typically low, but you want to make sure you allow your customers to get support in the language of their choice. So what we've done is we've developed what we're referring to as Wave IX Translate. And what that is it's an AI powered translation engine that supports our agents and or the customer directly and allows them to get serviced in their language choice. We support over 150 languages, um, and we have no limitations in terms of staffing. This is leveraging technology that you can then support that customer interaction anywhere across the globe with your agents and or a multilingual voice bot.
Got it. And Jim, from your side, I know you're working on a lot of these technologies in the backside. You're developing them. You're working on integration. Can you give us some insight into the value of some of these and maybe go deeper on automation and authentication?
Well, I think first on the automation front, the areas where we've seen and the industry has seen tremendous gains has been around automating the process to drive customer insights and customer journey mapping. So if you think about kind of the old days of QA, you do one or two samplings per agent per week, and you try to assemble a picture out of a very sparse data set. Using our tools, AI-based tools, we're able to quickly analyze 100% of those interactions. So you're getting the full picture of the customer journey, where are the complexity points, where are the friction points, kind of what is that overall experience, what channels are they choosing. And that's critical information to have very, very quickly to feed back into Eric's consultative approach, which is this is the low hanging fruit. This is where we're seeing opportunities to implement AI. These are the more complex ones. So, you want to build your customer journey. So you're moving from simple into complex, where you start to engage the agent and along the way supply the context of that interaction to the agent so they're able to be much more effective. So automating that process, that data collection and analytics process through AI has been a game changer for us. Then as it relates to the agent side of the house, you're able to take that analytics and apply it to things like, hiring agents, a hiring profile, the tools that you put at their disposal in terms of real-time assistance, next best action, all based on analyzing that customer journey. So it has created a much quicker iteration process around getting agents to full proficiency, as well as providing very, very quick turnaround on critical client insights, particularly around things like new product releases, anything related to change in the client's offerings. Those are very, very quickly reflected on the agent, the BPO side of things. So having that closed loop has been critical.
Right, perfect. And I'll jump to another question here that came in. It's kind of apropos. Are you able to provide any details about Wave IX pricing?
Yeah, I would say, look, in general, our process includes, we go through and we do the evaluation, and then we are very big believers in providing a very comprehensive ROI model back to all of our clients. In general, our pricing model is pretty flexible. We can go kind of per interaction, we can go per minute. We try to remain flexible with our clients. But one of the other components that we take a lot of pride in is we have, relative to certain solutions we offer, it's success-based pricing. So if we're able to service that interaction in a digital channel, then we're going to bill you for that digital interaction. If we're unsuccessful with that, then you won't be billed. So, our clients are really gravitating towards that because the main concern is, what if the technology is not successful? Then I'm getting billed on the digital side and I'm also getting billed on the human side. I'm not taking cost out of my business. So that tends to really put their fears at ease as it relates to the investments that they're making in the future of their companies.
Got it. Okay. I like that answer. So let's bring it back for a second to the impact on the employee experience and the agent experience. The question came in during pre-registration, and the question is, how do you encourage existing employees to make the best use of AI?
Yeah, let me yeah, I might answer this with a quote that Jim and I have kind of been playing around with a little bit, and what we've been using from an internal perspective. And what we truly believe is, look, the ultimate impact to headcount is to be determined, right? I think you'd be foolish to throw numbers out there of, hey, I believe X amount of people are going to get removed from the business. What we do 100% believe in is that agents that are leveraging AI will absolutely be better than agents who are not. So we believe that, you need to focus on equipping your agents with AI to assist them through interactions, allowing them to support customers more efficiently, more effectively, reducing handle times, increasing issue resolution, all of the core APIs that we're all focused on in the customer service industry. And we're candidly focused less on supplying a number of, hey, I'm going to take X out of your business. You need to build on that. And anybody who is offering numbers up front is likely providing some false promises, right? So what we really try to kind of communicate from an internal perspective and to our clients is there's no doubt that generative AI leveraged by agents will replace your standard agent for sure.
Yeah, and I think along those lines, the key to being successful there is to create, an AI tool set that's intuitive for the agent as opposed to burdensome, right? The early days of real-time assistance, you had all these pop-ups and very, very confusing for agents. It actually increased the stress load. So, how do you create a co-pilot-like environment that just feels natural to an agent so that they're able to kind of integrate those tools and which allows them the confidence to kind of focus on the customer as opposed to focusing on the desktop. So it's a little bit of still an art versus a science. And as we roll these tools out, we're very, very cognizant of the agent experience because you do it poorly and it can be very frustrating as opposed to enabling.
Got it. Yeah, great answers there. Okay, let's pivot now into we have a bunch of questions that have come in, so I think this will be good to pivot to the Q&A portion here because a lot of great questions. I think we'll get some good insights from these. You touched on this a little bit earlier, perhaps, Eric, but what's the typical implementation timeline on a Gen AI chatbot?
Yeah, I'd say it's, look, roughly between 4 and 8 weeks. Yeah, obviously that's dependent upon complexity and integration points, but Jim alluded to it earlier. We have a, build and buy approach. So that enables us to really improve our speed to green, if you will. So our speed to deployments are, we believe, are much faster than others who are, doing a lot of that gathering and then attempting to go build kind of on the fly. So, in general, we're able to meet the 4 to 8 week timeline.
And one of the things that contributes to that is, as we bring on partners, we really focus on developing the integration skills required to leverage that partner's technology to the fullest. So, we also spend or invest quite heavily around certifications, integration skills. We are an integration partner for Genesis, Five9, Salesforce, Zendesk. We have a team that focuses exclusively on leveraging APIs and developing APIs. It's so critical to critical part of the chatbot implementation. So it's a strong set of skills that enable us to turn these projects around very, very quickly.
Got it. Great. Okay. Next question. How can Gen AI enhance omnichannel performance?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that, and then I'm sure Jim will expand upon that. But in general, generative AI gives you access to limitless amounts of real-time data to support your clients in their channel preference, right? So, where you would otherwise, give a knowledge article to a customer and they might have to read through 10 pages, we now can give them the ability to access just certain points of a document per se to get the information they need much faster. And in addition to that, it's not just what we're putting in, right? We give the generative AI solution access to the repository, and it can comb through, millions of rows of data in milliseconds. So really just the access to the data and the information has been transformational.
It allows you to have a really consistent experience regardless of what channel you're coming in on. So if you're using a voice bot, that flow is going to be the same as an AI chatbot, and it's going to be returning the same personalization style, regardless of the channel, based on that back-end integration into key data systems leveraging generative AI.
Got it. And next question here. Jim, you already touched on this earlier, but I want to make sure I don't miss it and maybe you can get more pointed. How are your QA and BI teams leveraging Gen AI, and what results have you seen so far?
Yeah, as I mentioned, the biggest advantage, or the piece that our QA teams are leveraging the most, is just the scale of the information and the data that we're able to collect on each interaction, which, in the past, it was a lot more manual work to drive the insights. Now they spend less time being data wranglers and more time, leveraging the AI analytics to come up with conclusions that help our clients kind of shape that customer experience. So it's really been transformative, not to mention, a force multiplier to be able to drive those client insights very, very quickly. And, we've had concrete examples around, analyzing calls, breaking down the friction points, understanding, that they're taking 50 seconds just to authenticate. Where can we apply a specific piece of technology to solve that problem? Or, where are agents getting hung up in the process around complex procedures? So how do we supply it, say an AI-based knowledge based platform to help agents respond more quickly? So you get very, very specific around what problems you're trying to solve based on those analytics, as opposed to kind of just throwing something up against the wall there and hoping it sticks. Much more targeted now.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, well, that sounds great. Final question here. It's a bit more of a philosophical one for both of you, but curious to hear your answers here. Are we rushing too quickly to integrate Gen AI into everything? What risks does this pose?
Well,
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Eric.
please.
I think, as I talked earlier on about the challenges, I think the greatest risk is in implementation. A lot of this works very well in theory, small scale, but once you start scaling it, how are you addressing your data concerns? How are you addressing kind of the quality of the experience? You need to start thinking about analyzing the bot and voice bot experiences in the same manner as you analyze customer agent interactions. Is there empathy? Is there the right tone? Beyond just did I answer the question properly? So there is a tendency, or based on trying to keep up with the hype, I think, of trying to implement these technologies without really understanding, where the guardrails are. And I think that's probably the greatest risk. It's less technology risk, more around implementation risk.
And Eric?
Yeah, and look, I'll just tack on to that and say there can absolutely be risk. Do I believe that we're rushing too quickly? No, I believe we have the right protocols in place for our clients, and rigorous testing through development and implementation. That solutions we deploy, we have proven data that we're looking at that says it's doing exactly what we expect it to do prior to deployment and scale. So, the important thing to note relative to really all of these technologies is you don't just have to hit a go button and it hits every customer, right? You can test, you can scale. So we take a very thoughtful approach in that. Whether you're testing with a friendly or whether you're just putting it on a small subset of your customer interactions, absorb the data, make sure we're getting the right outcomes, and then we move forward with further deployments.
Yeah, we're very cautious in that approach. We've developed a whole lab environment, IBEX Labs, to be able to kind of test out prototypes, test out early deployments, and really kick the tires, if you will. Is it meeting the goal? Is it providing an appropriate customer experience? And that testing and iteration phase is very important.
Perfect. Well, thanks, gentlemen. I think that answers all of our questions. It's been great having you with us today. I think this brings us to the close of the webinar. I want to thank our audience for joining. We will be sending out the video of this on demand, so look out for that if you want to share it with colleagues. If you want more information on how IBEX can help, head to www.ibex.co, and we'll be sure to connect. So see you all in the next one. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Bram. Take care.